and welcome to another edition of The Grandstanders. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and in the grandstand I am joined by Uncle Joe McLaughlin and Alan Camo. Russ Stevens is on vacation this week. Guys, apparently he thought he should flee the area with his family before we were all overcome by snow and die. But we've replaced him with Rocky, because there's nobody tougher in the land than Rocky, and he's replacing Russ Stevens, who's wimped out this week and has left the area, and I think he's a fair replacement, don't you think?
He's still punching.
Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Russ would be punching if he was here.
Yeah. So
right
there's
here.
Rocky. There he is. He'll be here all show in replacement of Russ. And we start out the sports world, guys, with actually the Celtics. If we start off, they've the trading deadline was just passed 2 hours ago, and the Celtics have made 2 more trades, if you can believe it, guys. So that'll make 11 since the start of the season. Now, as we spoke about last week, they only have 15 guys on the team, and they've traded 11 of them. So now the Celtics have acquired from the Suns Isaiah Thomas for Thornton and a Cleveland's first-round pick.
In 16.
Yeah, and then they got rid of Tayshaun Prince, who you may not even know was on the team.
Who?
Yeah, for 2 guys from the street, the Detroit Pistons.
He came with Rondo.
Right, so you're right. Oh, yeah, right.
He
So
came in the Rondo deal.
So Trader Danny, even till the end, has been busy, right?
I wouldn't mind if I could see some kind of grand plan in all of this, but there seems to be no rhyme or reason. I don't see any end game out of this other than he's not stockpiling picks anymore.
I mean, any of these impact players?
No.
I mean, that's what amazed me. It's like, why are they bothering with this? What's the,
Exactly. You don't realize, does Danny Ainge have a plan? Or, because all of a sudden they acquire this guy, Isaiah Thomas. Now, he's averaging about 15 points a game, so he's actually a pretty good player. And in the next sentence, they're talking about how they might be able to move him in the offseason for somebody else.
Deal number 12.
My question is, at what point, Danny, do you stop and the guys on the team are actually going to be there the next day? I mean, when's the end game here?
I think it's going to be Marcus Smart, and you pick the other 4 next year.
But that's the irony, guys. Is Marcus Smart is a point guard, and so is Isaiah Thomas.
Right.
So I don't even understand the move at all. Apparently, there's a grand plan that he's not letting anyone in on. Right?
I don't see it. I can't see it.
But he's done trading now, right? I mean, the trading deadline is done, so maybe Danny doesn't even come back to the team till August. I don't know what he does, but
now he takes a vacation.
Right. It's very strange what he's doing.
God.
But the guy needs activity. He needs to be making moves. I'm only hoping that at some point they get a big man, right?
Oh, they need Perkins back. That's always my call.
Perkins is going to be bought out, but there's other teams more active in the search for him.
Yeah. Look, we're thinking about the Perkins 3 or 4 years ago. Perkins
That's true,
right now,
yeah,
he's washed
probably,
up.
yeah.
I mean, and this is a guy who actually came out of high school and ended up in the pros. So Kendrick Perkins is not an old guy. He's probably only like 31 or 32, but he's old
in NBA years.
Exactly, right. He's got a lot of wear and tear
82
on him.
games a year.
I just always liked that big, strong, intimidating center.
Very intimidating, this guy. And he was kind of the missing piece when he was hurt in that one championship year.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And then Danny trades him that other year
for Jeff Green.
And literally just cost us another championship.
And what did they fall? 1 game short that year?
Yeah, no, they could have used Kendrick Perkins. And everybody's bitter and angry at the fact that when you had, Allen, Garnett, Pierce, and Rondo, and you only won 1 championship, that's a fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were great. They were a great team.
Garnett was traded also. He's back with Minnesota.
Is he officially back in Minnesota?
Yeah, he's officially back.
So Kevin Garnett got traded. This is pretty much his last year, and we love KG, and so he's going back where he started in Minnesota. Yeah. But KG's washed up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's done.
He was
Well,
washed up while he was here.
Who's the greatest Celtic general manager to make trades? I mean, nobody can come close to Red Auerbach, can they?
no.
I mean, Auerbach wheeled and dealed, and he held rights to people. He
Always
knew
got
who was
another
coming.
piece. Always got another
Right.
piece down the stretch. And,
I mean, even we get
The
rid,
Bailey
get rid of
Howells
Charlie.
and-
Right, he'd come
Oh
up with
my-
these players.
He
It was just this
drafted Larry
perfect
Bird
fit.
the year before in the draft.
Oh, he was sharp with
It-
that.
with like
right.
the
right.
six-
The
Stick in the
junior
draft.
eligible.
Yeah.
No one else had ever heard of this rule.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's like Belichick when all the guys are eligible or uneligible. Auerbach was a genius. There's a reason he has a statue in
Yeah.
Faneuil Hall.
Yeah.
So that's our Celtics talk because that's pretty much it for the season right now.
Yeah.
Because once they stop trading guys, they're pretty much just
They're going to fall out of the news now.
Right, they'll fall out of the news. They'll fall out of any playoff race, and it'll be off-season talk. So we'll go to the team that is starting again next week. I know the word spring really doesn't resonate with this community right now at all because we're knee deep in winter. But spring training starts next week, guys.
Yeah.
And of course, the biggest acquisition in the offseason was
Biggest?
one biggest, and I say biggest, was one Pablo Sandoval. And the first pictures we got of Pablo in a Red Sox uni was earlier this week when we get this photo of Pablo Sandoval. Guys, is this pretty much the most embarrassing photo you've seen?
I was very disappointed when I saw this. I mean,
He looks like he's ready
He
to give
couldn't make a
birth at this,
softball
right?
team.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, I'm just waiting for him to break his water and that's it, and they rush him, to the hospital. I mean,
I disagree. I think he looks pretty good. I mean, especially when you consider that, Rich Garces, El Guapo, is his dietitian.
no.
even El Guapo didn't look like that.
Oh, he did. El
All right, so
Guapo
in
did.
Pablo Sandoval's press conference, he said that he was going to get in shape and that he has a trainer. Now, apparently, it comes out his trainer is his brother, right? And so we know how that's worked out. Okay.
And chef.
Right. And so now, obviously with the pictures, there's been a lot of controversy. People are calling him a fat tub of goo, all these wonderful names. And so he has now come out, of course, in the Twitter world, and he has promised that he's going to be in great shape to start the season. And he's actually given us a picture of what he'll look like at the start of the season. So put that up. There you go. That's Pablo Sandoval
Butterball.
opening day. Yeah,
Pablo Butterball.
it's going to look good. Is Pablo Sandoval? Does he really understand what he's coming into?
No,
as
the
far
Boo
as
Birds on the third base line in that left field corner are gonna slay him.
Let me tell you something. This guy is an El Guapo waiting to happen. That's always my thought. I'm not going out and buying the Pablo Sandoval head to wear at any of these games.
But it's
you're in
not-
the
it's not gonna
American
be pretty.
League.
It's
You're
not
in the
gonna-
American League. You're not in the National League anymore.
Yeah.
You're facing the Eastern Division pitching.
Alan, the problem here is that if the Red Sox get off to a weak start, they're on the road first.
He'll be blamed.
He will be blamed. As you said, at Fenway Park, look, from the third base where he'll be standing and playing to the stands, is it what, 20, 30 feet?
Yeah.
Right.
Those guys are going to be relentless. The moment that Pablo Sandoval does not get to a ball, what's going to happen? And this is at home is what's going to happen. It's not going to be pretty. We've had this before, right? Edgar Renteria, who was a star player for the Cardinals, helped them win World Series. He comes to Fenway Park. He's a little out of shape. Nothing in the Pablo Sandoval world. And he gets
He had
destroyed.
rabbit ears, though. He did have rabbit ears.
Right. But he wasn't
I
here.
don't know if Pablo looks like the kind of guy that rolls off
Right,
his
I'm
back,
with
and
you,
he's
too.
going to need that attitude because they're going to ride him. He had plenty of goodwill in San Francisco. He did lots of good things, but here he comes to the American League. What's he done for me lately? Nothing. So I have no good, bank of goodwill for him. He's going to have trouble.
He's going to have big trouble, right? And he's here for 5 years at $95 million.
I think, is this the way I look at it? Come on, you've got some real athletes who could be playing the third base position. As this guy transitions with the Red Sox, do we see this scenario unfolding? Poppy exits, you put Sandoval as a DH. Hopefully you've got enough good hitting around him to keep him, so
I
they
like
can't
your
throw
line
him
of
away.
No, I
thinking.
think I think
you
you're
want to
right.
think some optimistic scenarios here.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, as much as Rich Garces was a great pitcher and had one of the best sliders I've ever seen, your lack of athleticism, you're not being conditioned, will catch up to you in the major leagues.
but we're talking apples and oranges. When you talk about pitchers and regular
They're
players.
a specialist.
Yeah, pitchers are always, there's a lot of fat pitchers, but we're talking about a third baseman, right? Who's going to have to run the bases, okay? And you have him for 5 years.
Right.
And seriously, if he gets an injury, what are you going to mention the first thing when he gets an injury? Because he's too damn fat, right?
Right.
Ben Cherington, in reacting to the Sandoval picture, said, well, that's what we knew we were getting. Kind of strange to you, doesn't it, that he say that? I mean, they're putting absolutely no pressure on the fat tub of goo to get in shape at all.
Does
And
he have any
seriously,
weight clauses in his
I
contract?
don't know, but
Yeah,
seriously,
they used to put those in. Sure, that makes sense. Weight clauses. and
he's
everything.
new to the area, so I'd like to introduce him to something. A sit-up. He needs to do lots of them. I mean, that's really, that picture for a guy who's just started spring training, that's unacceptable to me. I mean, he's basically told the Red Sox, that's what you got. And, right?
Well, let's wait and give him a pass until we see at the end of spring training.
Sometimes you can be surprised. I forget who the first baseman was who always had a weight problem, and some coach.
George Scott?
No, I think it was somebody else. But anyway, they made him lose the weight, and he came in, and he could never break 300 again.
Yeah. Well,
you never know.
I know there are stories about guys who play fat. I understand, but I'm just saying he better get off to a good start. The Red Sox better get off to a good start, or it's not going to be pretty, and it's not going to be pretty quickly. So that's all I'm saying on that. Shane Victorino came out this week, and he said that he's never been so motivated to start spring training. Now, is Shane motivated because he wants to get his starting position back, or is Shane motivated because he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season?
Wait. This is
A little of both.
This
Little
is
of both.
what I love. So you just said, he's going to get his starting position back? I didn't know he lost it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Mookie
Come
Betts.
on, he did
Mookie-
not. Mookie Betts should
Castillo.
not be your starting right fielder.
The starting
No
outfield
way.
right now, as we stand, is going to be Hanley Ramirez in left, Castillo in
Rusney
center,
Castillo.
and Mookie Betts in right
That's a
field.
mistake.
But
you
look
gotta
at
have
what
Victorino in
he
right.
gave you last year. He just loafed the whole year away.
Who?
Oh,
Victorino.
Yeah, Victorino.
Hey, when was the last time
He
you
took
needed
the
back
year off.
surgery?
He took the year
no,
off.
Come on,
Come
Victor-
on, they
He
did
didn't
this.
bother doing that in the
They
offseason, did he?
this. They're doing the same thing to Jacoby Ellsbury. He broke his ribs. You have broken ribs. You can barely breathe. You can barely move. Then, this guy's a loafer. So they bring him back. And what does he do? Do you remember what happened after they brought Jacoby Ellsbury? Oh, I'm totally healed. Not really.
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened to Jacoby Ellsbury?
Went right back on the DL.
Broke another
Yeah.
rib.
Oh, nobody was happier to be hurt than Victorino. He
Yeah.
was in the top step.
He was-
I'm sorry.
The word
I
malingua was
disagree.
created for Victorino last year.
No way.
Yeah, and-
I think it's smart that he's totally recovered. He is an asset for a fielder out in right field. You need this guy. You need this guy more than Mookie Betts playing right field.
I don't
like to see
know.
Mookie Betts transition somewhere
Everything you
into
say
the game.
is true. He is a great fielder. He's a good hitter. But does he still have it? He's 2 years removed from this.
Yeah, he's an older guy now, and he's going to have to prove his worth, or I think that.
Yeah,
he's
I think
a
he has to
fourth or
show me
fifth
again.
outfielder.
Well, my whole question is, what are we doing with this team? What happens to Greg Allen? Craig Allen? Or,
Alan Craig.
Alan Craig.
Yeah, but we'll have to get to that.
Look at
Yeah,
all
it's
these
very
people
interesting in
all
the
over the
sense if you
place.
look at the
Well,
Red
Scott's favorite, Daniel
Daniel
Nava.
Yeah, we'll get to him later. But if you look at the Red Sox right now, they're going to have four. If you talk about Betts, you talk about Bogarts, you talk about Castillo, and Vasquez. You have four rookies basically,
Pretty much,
who
absolutely.
are going to be in the starting nine, and that's pretty much the transition you think as far as a bridge year. This looks like a bridge year.
I don't even know this team.
Well,
and the starting
but wait a minute, though.
rotation.
You
too.
talk about players being injured and coming back. Is Napoli going to find his form?
Well, I mean, Napoli will play first base. I think.
I don't mind him swinging for the fences. I don't mind that.
But I mean, is he going to have a better year this year than he had last year?
I should hope
Yeah,
so.
I would hope so. Yeah,
I think he will.
Or
too.
he'll be out of the league.
And I think you'll have it because you've got Ramirez in there, and you
Yeah,
know,
you'll get more
Sandoval.
protection.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he doesn't, he's Johnny Gomes because I mean,
boy.
ultimately, guys like Napoli, they fall off real quick.
Yeah.
If those guys don't put up 25,
Right.
80, they're done. I mean, they just, they get maybe a 1-year contract, and then that's it for him. You don't hear from him. So he's in a contract year in Napoli. Napoli actually makes $16 million a year, guys. I mean, this guy
Not a
is
bad little chunk of
He's
change.
absolutely, he has a lot of reasons to play well this year. So I don't worry about him.
He'll sleep better now too after the surgery.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's still. I mean, he had his whole face basically taken off.
Yeah.
And as we
I wonder if he'll look different.
well, he has a beard now, so he's covered
you
everything
can't
up. Yeah. So the rumors are still out there, guys, that Cole Hamels of the Philadelphia Phillies, who pretty much is going to go somewhere, has gained interest now in the Boston Red Sox yesterday, saying that Boston is a fun city and he'd be happy to go there, and that he doesn't want to be in the Phillies because they suck. So, Cole Hamels, could he be back in the
Price
picture?
has dropped. Remember, it was
Has
Mookie
it
Betts
really?
and 2 other prospects. Now it's Mookie Betts.
Oh, I don't even think it's Mookie Betts. I don't think that. There's no way the Red Sox give away Mookie Betts. Not
No,
a
I think there's
chance.
some that are totally, untouchable for the Red Sox. I think Betts is one of them.
And this
But
sweetheart.
Cole Hamels' price was much higher.
I think
not
you could
too
get
long
Cole
ago.
Hamels. I think you could get Cole Hamels right now, Henry Owens, and some other guys. And apparently the Red Sox have offered major league players. Now, who would that be? That doesn't include Betts.
Daniel Nava.
No, I
Well,
mean,
it could be Holt. Holt's not protected, is he?
yeah,
Holt's a good ball
that would be
player.
nice. I know there's always
Holt's a good
fans that
player.
always love.
He's
Oh yeah, we'll
another
give him
one.
Holt and Nava, and they'll
Holt's
give
not
us
a bad
Hamels.
guy.
Well, we got 10 outfielders. We got to get rid of a couple of them.
Right, I agree on that.
Even if they're fire sales, you got to get rid of some of them.
But guys, if there's anybody in sports who you can take one on, it's Ruben Amaro of the Philadelphia Phillies GM. He is not even arguably, he is the worst general
he ruined
manager
the Mets. He
in
ruined the Phillies.
Yeah, in the history of sports. So, needless to say, if anyone will give Cole Hamels away, it's this guy. So we'll just keep waiting out because they have to get rid of him. He wants out of Philadelphia.
The price has gone way down.
way down.
How old is Hamels? Is he in that 30?
I'd say he's
He's
over
like
30.
Yeah, I think he's 31 or
31,
something.
yeah.
Yeah. And he had an under 3
But he's
run average
left-handed,
last year.
you know?
He's left-handed. And the Red Sox actually open up against the Phillies. So it's the
be
kind of thing where
interesting.
we don't have to face him. If
Yeah.
he could be on our team, he could
You
join
could
us.
swap clubhouses.
Yeah.
Speaking of prospects, did you hear the rumor that Peter Gammons had on Jackie Bradley Jr. going to Atlanta? Did you?
Oh, is
did
that
you
right?
hear
No, I
about
didn't
that?
hear
Yeah,
that.
no, just late breaking on the internet there. And I'm thinking, well, gee, are you sure there's room with B.J. Upton on the Atlanta Braves there?
Yeah, well,
Talk
they-
about going bust. Wow.
But Bradley's actually made for the National League, right?
Yeah.
He's much more
The
suitable
Red Sox
for
have
that.
Might
moved
be.
on from Jackie. I don't see a place for Jackie.
Oh,
Bradley
but what a
Jr.
great outfielder. What
Oh,
a great
wasn't he
arm.
fun to watch?
But he's a
was-
guy who can play great defense in the outfield.
Yeah.
If they can teach him to bunt, get
Right,
the ball
I'm
on the
with you,
ground
too.
in the National League where there's
Right.
more artificial turf,
right.
and he can bat eighth, and he can be a productive player.
He can be an impact player, absolutely.
There's no.
You've got that
spot
big
for him.
outfield in Atlanta, and it's all uniform dimensions, and Jackie Bradley Jr. would shine there.
Yeah,
They
right.
would really take to him.
Because
He's the best center fielder I've seen for the Red Sox in my lifetime.
yeah, oh yeah,
Oh, he
he's
is
remarkable.
pretty
Great arm,
impressive.
everything. Now we talk about the young guys on the Red Sox, but the Red Sox are depending on the back end of their bullpen. One Koji. And Koji is 40 years old,
Yeah. I think the
41
ship
years
has
old,
sailed.
41,
and but
yeah.
he's penciled in right now as their closer. How do you see that playing out, even in spring training, if he doesn't look good? Because he's the kind of guy who only throws 86, 87 miles per hour. If he's throwing 83, 84, all of a sudden they're going to tee off on him.
I'm afraid his effectiveness might be over, but let's hope he still got it. He was the greatest closer
was
they ever
amazing.
had
No question.
He was
for that one
amazing.
year, and if he can capture that magic again, even if it's for half a year, that'll cover a lot of sins for the rest of the team.
This whole team is full of a lot of hopefuls, though, really.
Right.
You're going to hope that Bogarts doesn't have the year he had last year, steps up a little bit.
Yep.
You're hoping Koji Urihara can still hang in there. I hate to say it, even Big Papi, as much as he's ready to go,
Right.
I mean, he's reaching that sort of, that edge there.
That's a great point because they depend on him so
Oh, my
much
God, if
offensively.
he-
and
I've been
He-
wrong on him before, though. 5 years ago,
Right.
I said he was washed up, and he's proven me wrong,
Right,
wrong.
But you got a lot of ifs on this team. A lot of things.
And
have to
Pedroia's an
sort of
if.
go
He's
right.
coming off an injury,
Right.
and whether he's on the downside of his career right now because they need him. You know,
Right.
and you're not going to get. I mean, forget it, fans. You're never going to get that home run total ever again out of Pedroia. So just forget
Right,
it.
oh, no,
I
that's
mean,
fine. That's
he's
okay.
he's what? Lucky he gets 10 home runs a year, right? I mean, we're not going to get 20.
He
plus from
contributes,
Pedroia.
But
whatever
I'm
way he
fearful
can,
of
though.
Ramirez. I mean, is Ramirez going to make Cespedes look like a good left fielder?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
I mean, there's a lot of things that
How
where
about
the
the
wheels
starting
can come
rotation?
under. Oh,
Yeah.
not even the rotations. in
Miley
question.
and Porcello. I don't even know
Porcello
their-
will be good.
Yeah.
Porcello and Kelly will be good.
Porcello used to kill us, so I think he'll be good.
Well, you guys are experts on the Red Sox. Follow them very closely. Can you name the bullpen right now?
Oh my God!
I don't even know.
kidding.
Is
I mean,
Mojica still there?
Yeah, and Mojica's still
Mojica's
there, but
still
he's
there, yeah.
apparently on the trading block. I mean,
Rodriguez didn't they pick
we're
up?
Sox
I mean,
obsessed here, and it's
Tazao is a strong. He's
Tazao.
always good. He's a hold. He's good.
But Tazawa's a guy who's thrown a lot of pitches.
He
in
has.
a number of seasons now.
Right.
Now, I would assume that he's the closer in waiting if things go south for coaching
I
right
would
now.
agree.
Wouldn't you think? Right?
Absolutely, I would agree.
Wasn't he the first choice as closer before Uehara became the closer?
was.
Well, no, they
that
went
was.
through so many guys
They
a
did.
couple
There
of
was
years
a-
ago. And then Andrew Miller. I mean, and then I think Breslow's on the team.
He is.
Maybe
He is.
someone
Yeah,
should
Craig
tell
Breslow,
him.
yeah.
Craig Breslow, who had a terrible season last year, but they got him for cheap.
But he's left-handed, and so they'll take him.
Yeah,
And
so
he had
it-
a nagging injury of some type. So maybe.
but it's going to be very interesting to see, how this roster works out, and we're going to have the whole spring to kind of see how.
They still need a stud starting pitcher. They
Yeah.
really
They may not.
do.
Cole
I agree
Hamels?
with you, but
Yeah,
I
they
agree
do.
with you. I don't know if they need it right away to start
They
the
may
season,
not.
but
They
it's
may
going to be more.
not.
They may be that price tends to go down if you do it. During
Right.
the
Maybe for
season.
down the stretch they
Right.
come,
Right.
So we have an article. First of all, I want to mention that before I forget, we were featured in the Brookline tab today. A nice feature story on the Grandstanders, and we want to flip it over. And you want to flip on the
You got
story.
that, Lodi? So there we are. This is the front
There's the
page.
tab.
And then here we are right down here.
Yeah.
Here's the
So that was very
cast
nice.
of
So we'd like to
usual
thank-
criminals.
We'd like to thank the tab for doing that. It was a very nice piece.
I like the
going
heading.
over the story and some
show
nice
of the
some
fans by
some
the
grandstander news. Larry Lucchino, the president of the Boston Red Sox, will be appearing here on the Grandstanders in late April and early May, and that's my next topic here, guys. Larry Lucchino. The rumors have it this week that Larry Lucchino, at least his role, is going to be minimized at the Red Sox.
Why is he one?
And
He's
I
getting
don't know.
older.
He's getting older. Yeah, he's going to be 70 years old. To me, look, Larry Lucchino came into town, and we have 3 World Series
Exactly.
trophies. And of course, he's going to appear in the Grandstanders. So I love Larry Lucchino. All right, so he's getting love on this show. That would be a great.
And he made Fenway Park a nice place to visit again too.
Fenway Park's not a parking lot right now. It's still around. I mean,
Yeah.
they were going to put that in the water, or maybe Wilmington. So if Larry Lucchino does end up retiring and no longer day-to-day operations for the Red Sox, that would be a great loss in my opinion.
Who's going to be his
right.
replacement? That'll be something interesting to talk to him about. Who is he? Has he groomed anyone to
Yeah,
follow in his footsteps?
I haven't heard him refute any of the rumors, and Dan Shaughnessy
Right.
came out with this, and I don't think Shaughnessy and Lucchino have the greatest relationship of all
Well,
time.
yeah, but-
So I would imagine if these rumors weren't true or have some validity to them, that he would have come out at some
Oh,
point.
he'd
said-
love to shoot Shaughnessy down.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So, but I think look, it all starts with upper management. I think Lucchino has done a great job here, and that would be a great loss to the Red Sox.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. I agree. Be sure he still couldn't, in one way or another, even in retirement, sort of have an emeritus,
Well, I'm sure
type
like Dr.
status.
Charles, just
Right.
still have their hand in. I'm sure he
Right.
would.
I mean,
As long as he lived in
he's
the
a part
area.
owner, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a
Yeah.
part owner.
So he's still
right?
got to
Yeah.
vote in what goes on on a major scale with what the Red Sox are doing. So
I always assumed he was John Henry's #1 sounding board too on just about all things Red Sox.
Well, as John Henry
Yeah.
said, he runs the Red Sox. So, I mean, when you talk about the history of Boston sports and executives, I mean, it's a short list of guys that we remember.
Yeah.
And Larry Lucchino will go down top 3, top 5 at least of the executives that ever hit this sports town. So a huge debt of gratitude would go out to Larry Lucchino if for some,
Well,
that he
some
ends up
people
retiring.
just haven't forgiven him because he is an out-of-towner, and they always will call him a carpetbagger. But remember, Buddy LaRue was maybe the worst owner in
boy.
the history, and he was born and bred
agree.
here.
Yeah, right.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, will the natives accept them? I don't know. We have about a few minutes left. Definitely want to hit on the Bruins. Trading deadline's coming quick. Cam Neely is now pissed off, and nobody wants to piss off Cam Neely, as we saw in his playing career. Anybody could go, apparently, and I'm hearing rumors right now that Seidenberg and Eriksson, of all people, could go in a trade. My question is, guys, you trade Eriksson, who is the main piece in the Sagan deal. That's really...
And now what have you gotten for him?
And you've got nothing for him. And then all of a sudden...
Riley Smith.
All of a sudden, the poor Bruins fans are going to have to steer down Tyler Sagan for the next 15 years and watch all his success. There may be a lot of turmoil coming on in the Bruins right now.
Well, who's out there? And what do you really need to give this team just that
Well, they
little
need
more
a
boost?
first-line right wing, and they
Okay.
need, say, a second-pairing defenseman.
Okay.
Again, on the right-hand side would be nice. But
But they need a
there's
blood
too-
transfusion. They need Mickey.
There's too many guys.
Seriously.
Too many guys on that team used to be good. They all got extended.
Yeah.
And now they're all doing nothing.
And that isn't...
Lucic, even Bergeron, for God's sakes, just not having a good year.
No.
They all seem to be going through the motions and not too concerned about it.
And that's all the fine line, and that's what Belichick has learned very well, guys, is when is it time to say goodbye
Yeah.
to your players? Do you say goodbye a year before they go south or a year after? And he's always been able to establish when it was time to say goodbye. And we even all disagreed on guys like Welker, Malloy,
Mankins.
McGinnis, right? Mankins.
Who was the defensive back they sent to Oakland? I love that guy.
Yeah,
What
right.
was his
But
name?
all these guys,
Law.
right? All these guys, it's
Oh,
proven,
Mike Haynes.
It's proven, right? But it's proven that when he said goodbye to them, that their best, days were, behind them. And the Bruins have not done that, and now they're paying for it. And to me, this is an opportunity to start cleaning house and start moving back up again. Because they've hit rock bottom. To me, a team of this talent to play the way they are, and they may not even make the playoffs. This is an embarrassment that all these guys like Cam Neely and the owner are voicing displeasure. So who ends up going? Neely, Chiarelli, or Julian? Because one guy's going. One guy's leaving the
I was
island.
absolutely flabbergasted at the beginning of the season when they extended Claude Julien.
Really, I like Claude Julien. I think he's
But
a
why
good
would you
coach.
extend him
Yeah.
just out of nowhere?
Right.
They extended him, just like I guess I heard today the Red Sox want to extend Farrell when they don't need to. He's still under their control for 2 years because they don't want him to appear like a lame duck. Well, if the players don't respect you, you're a lame duck whether you are contractually or not.
Yeah, but do you think that gives them more security, or is it for guys like Julian and Farrell who've won championships here?
Yeah.
It's maybe a golden parachute where, if they do end up firing him, well, they're leaving out the door, you get an extra 2 years of pay. So I don't know if that is job security. Do you think it is?
Well, I guess Farrell still got, and Claude just had 2 years to go.
Yeah, there's no
Farrell
reason.
still got. There's no
But
reason
isn't
to
there
extend
also
him.
too among the players that, well, my coach is going to be here, and if he tells me something I don't like to do,
I'm
well,
the
he's
one
got
who's
the
gone.
trump card, right?
Yeah, because
So-
you don't want a
so-
lame duck manager or
yeah.
coach. That's the worst, part of that. But yeah, I find that kind of awkward in that way. And yet somebody's going. You watch one of those three going.
Chiarelli has fallen in love with his championship team, and he keeps every one of them like they're little dolls on a shelf.
Right.
And you can't do that. You have to move on.
Yeah.
That was 3 years ago. This is a different world now.
And we have to move on. That's another episode of the Grandstanders.
Already?
Want to thank you
Ready
guys.
already?
Right. Want to thank you guys for all your great opinions. Want to thank everyone behind the scenes. We'll be back next week at 6:30 on Thursday Night Live. My name is Scott Kerman. Have a great night.
Good night.